Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
And so are you. Thank you for being here. 888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter. We continue with our Senate hearing. The Supreme Court Justice nominee, Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, just a fantastic judge who would make such a great addition to the U.S. Supreme Court. I mean, if you like people who are soft on child porn and pedophilia, and really, really extreme on abortion, where like partial birth abortion is fine, then she'd be great. She'd be great.
I remember the good old days when a nominee was up there and it was, so is the Constitution a living, breathing document, or are you an originalist? No, now we got nominees up there. We got to figure out why they're soft on sentencing pedophiles.
Yeah, right. And stare decisis. Precedent. We're not even talking about the U.S. Constitution. We're talking about precedent, which I've never understood. It's like that's the holy grail is precedent. What they decide in the past, let's decide that again in the future.
Which is the opposite of what a, quote, progressive you think would say.
You would think, but there's no consistency there. So Senator Josh Hawley questioned the nominee about sentencing a child pornographer to just 3 months.
There are people who reoffend, and it is a terrible thing that happens in our system.
Yeah, indeed it is. Let me ask you about the Hawkins case. You and I talked about this yesterday. You've been able to think about it overnight. This is a case where you had an 18-year-old who possessed and distributed hundreds of images of 8-year-olds and 9-year-olds and 10-year-olds, and you gave him, frankly, a slap on the wrist sentence of 3 months.
Senator,
do you regret it?
I don't remember whether it was distribution or possession in the law.
It was both. Do you regret it?
In the law, there are different crimes that people commit.
Judge, you gave him
area.
3 months. My question is, do you regret it or not?
Senator, what I regret is that in a hearing about my qualifications to be a justice on the Supreme Court, we've spent a lot of time focusing on this small subset of my sentences, and I've tried to explain.
You regret that
we're
focusing on your cases? I don't understand.
No. I'm talking about the fact that you're talking
That's
about
great.
Child pornography
7
cases.
Very serious cases.
I'm glad we agree on that. Don't you think?
Some of which involve conduct that I sentence people to 25, 30 years.
3 months in this case, Judge. Do you regret it? You haven't answered my question yet. Do you regret this sentence?
Senator, I would have to look at the circumstances. What I'm telling you...
You've already looked at the circumstances.
You know the circumstances. We discussed it for half an hour yesterday. There's a 55-page transcript, which I'm sure you've read. You lived it. As you've emphasized to this committee over and over, you've lived it, right? You said that you've been through all of this. You've looked at all of the images. You're the one who's had to endure all of it. You gave him a 3-month sentence. I just wonder if you regret it or if you stand by it. I mean, do you stand by that sentence?
Senator, in every case, I followed what Congress authorized me to do
so
in looking
by it.
to the best of my ability at all of the various factors that apply.
So just say it. You stand by it.
That constrain judges, that give us discretion, but also tell us how to sentence. And I ruled in every
Same thing
case
every time.
based on all of the relevant factors.
So you don't regret it?
Right. That's what I'm getting to, Josh.
No one case, Senator, can stand in for a judge.
I'm not asking you that. I'm asking if you regret this sentence in this case. And it sounds like the answer is no. But I want to tell you, I regret it. I regret that you gave him only 3 months. Let me read to you what you said about these kinds of cases. In fact, to this defendant, you said, make no mistake, Mr. Hawkins, the children you saw in those pictures were not willing participants in the conduct that you witnessed. They were being forced to commit unspeakable acts of sexual violence for the pleasure of the person who was filming and for the gratification of sick people everywhere, people who apparently have no shred of empathy for what this must be doing to the children who are being abused in this way. You go on. Some of the children you saw in those pictures will never have a normal adult relationship. Some of them will turn to drugs and prostitution and other vices to try to deal emotionally with the pain that results from the torture that they have experienced. And even those who manage to lead a somewhat normal adult life say they live in constant fear of being recognized. Wow. Some people are even unable to leave their houses because once those pictures are on the internet, they are there forever. And the victims can't do anything without worrying that every person that they meet has seen them in their most vulnerable state at the most horrible time in their lives.
Like
that's your words, pages 34 and
summation.
35 of the transcript. Powerful words, Judge. I just don't understand why after saying this and believing this, you could give this guy
3 months.
3 months in prison when the probation office that we've heard so much about recommended 18 months. Even the probation office recommended 18 months.
That seems like...
Do you have anything to add?
Do you?
No, Senator.
There.
Wow.
There you go. That's it.
Wow, she's the worst.
Yes, I know.
She's the worst.
Can you believe that we're here?
She can't defend herself. She can't say anything logical in defense of her judgments. She goes back to every Senator, there are the guidelines for the sentencing, and yeah, we know. And you could have given him much more time with these guidelines. You could have sentenced him to at least 18 months. 3 months after all that she said to him about what's going to happen now in the lives of the victims. You give him 3 months for that? Wow. That's amazing. Lindsey Graham clashed with her again, as he had the day before.
We are going to treat a person who's distributed 1,000 a lot worse, because that shows that this person is really engaged in this really horrible behavior. In comes the internet. On the internet, with one click, you can receive, you can distribute tens of thousands. You can be doing this for 15 minutes, and all of a sudden, you are looking at 30, 40, 50 years in prison.
Good. Good.
I understand.
Absolutely good. I hope you are. Good.
Allow her to finish, please.
I hope you go to jail for 50 years if you're on the internet trolling for images of children and sexual exploitation. So you don't think that's a bad thing? I think that's a horrible thing.
That's not what the witness said, and she should be allowed to answer this question once and for all.
Shut up, Durbin. Shut up. It's not your turn. Shut your mouth. Oh, these guys are pathetic. The Democrats love her. There's nothing she could say or do, nothing in her past that could dissuade them from voting for her. Just because she's been nominated by brain dead Biden, they're going to go along with it, and they're going to confirm her. It's amazing.
And she continues to make the case that, since you're not trying as hard on the internet as if it is in the mail, such a weird,
bizarre.
Yeah.
What a weird line.
And it doesn't deserve
to draw
as long as a sentence. It's
yeah, because it's easy to do. So you're not culpable then if it's easy. That doesn't make any sense. There's a lot of crimes that are easy to commit, and they're still crimes, and you still get the full sentence. That's bizarre. That's really bizarre. Ted Cruz was back at it with her, and again, Durbin butting in.
Why did you sentence him to just 57 months in the Stewart case? Do you want to address that? Because you're claiming it's cherry picking. In fact, you're welcome to explain any of these cases, but let's take the Stewart case. Why did you sentence him for half the amount?
You're not recognized, Senator Coons.
You don't want her to answer that question?
You wouldn't allow her anyway.
Mr. Chairman, she may answer the question. I've asked her why she sentenced Stewart.
You've gone over the time, Senator, by 2 minutes.
Because you've interrupted me for 2 minutes, Mr. Chairman. Will you allow her to answer the question, or do you not want the American people to hear why, with someone she described as an egregious...
there comes a point, Senator, where you get a little bit...
Chairman Durbin, will you allow her to answer the question?
You won't allow her to answer.
I will happily allow her to... The question is,
Senator
why
Cruz,
did you sentence Stewart, an egregious child pornography possessor, to half of the amount requested by the prosecutor?
Please, Senator.
Will you allow her to answer the question, Chairman Durbin?
Senator Coons.
Why are you not allowing her to answer the question? There's not another senator here that you've not allowed her to answer the question. I'm not asking another question, but allow her to answer the question, Chairman Durbin.
Thank you, Chairman Durbin.
Why do you not want the American people to know what happened in the Stewart case or any of these cases? Chairman Durbin, I've never seen the chairman refuse to allow a witness to answer a question. You can bang it as loud as you want.
Well, I can just tell you, at some point you have to follow the rules.
Okay, will you let her answer the question? You've been interrupting, and by the way, with Senator Graham, it went 10 minutes over. You've taken a big chunk of the time. Will you allow her to answer the question?
You've given her.
Why are you afraid of her? She's welcome to answer it right now. Will you let her?
Senator Coons.
Will you let? So no, you don't want her to answer the question?
Wow.
Senator Coons.
Will you let her answer the question?
Chairman Durbin.
And the
apparently we're very afraid of the American people hearing the answer to that question.
We here in the Senate.
There we are.
Wow.
See, he had to keep talking because then Coons would start up.
Right.
Because Durbin wouldn't compel her to answer the question.
Right.
Oh, what a nightmare this country has become.
This can go. It'll go right down party lines, and she'll be confirmed. I mean, you're going to get 50-50, and then you'll have the vice president make the deciding vote, and she's in.
You think? I don't know. I don't know about Manchin. Have you heard anything? I have not.
I have not.
Okay.
I've not heard where he stands.
But I think
nor have I seen him.
I'm not saying she's going to lose. I'm saying she's going to pick up Republican votes like Romney to take care of the whatever
that's
gap is there from the
definitely
Democrats.
Possible.
So
Mitt Romney, what a waste.
It'll probably be
a waste.
I don't have the names in front of me, but somewhere around 53-47, you'll get a handful of Republicans.
That's probably true. Yeah, it's probably true. It won't even come down to a tiebreaker. Then Cory Booker actually brought the nominee to tears. This is beautiful. This is beautiful
because he was so mean to her.
Oh,
and I'm telling you right now, I'm not letting anybody in the Senate steal my joy. I told you this at the beginning. I'm embarrassed. It happened earlier today.
You should be.
I just look at you and I start getting full of emotion. I'm jogging this morning, and I'm at the end of the block I live on. And I get terrified because I put my music on loud when I'm jogging, trying to block out the noise of the heart attack I'm having. And this woman comes up on me, practically tackles me, an African-American woman.
Right.
And the look on her eye, she just wanted to touch me.
On her eye.
Because I'm sitting so close to you.
Touch you.
And tell me what it meant to her to watch you sitting where you're sitting. And you did not get there.
We've had that before.
Because of some left-wing agenda? You didn't get here because of some dark money groups?
She got there because of a left-wing agenda.
Every black woman in America who's gotten anywhere has done. By being, like Ginger Rogers said, I did everything Fred Astaire did, but backwards in heels.
Wow. Okay. The historical significance is not lost on anybody, but the fact is, Biden said from the very start that he was going to nominate a black woman. That's part of the left-wing agenda. Don't tell me she's not there because of the left-wing agenda.
I appreciate you reminding us of that.
Stop it.
That was the criteria from the start.
From the very beginning. Nobody else had a chance. It was going to be a black woman. So don't tell me that she's there just based on merit. That's not true. It's just not true. She might have gotten there anyway. But we'll never know because Biden said from the very beginning it was his left-wing agenda to nominate a black woman to the U.S. Supreme Court. So he did. Which, by the way, it's happened before, and they didn't feel the same way with the Republican nominee. With a more reasonable justice nominated, nobody was crying about that.
Are you referring to Janice Rogers Brown?
Yeah.
Was that wasn't Supreme Court though? Wasn't that just federal?
Oh yeah, it was federal court, but they didn't.
That's because she has an R after her name.
No, right, right. Nobody was breaking down in tears or expressing incredible joy over that. She's the right kind of black woman. That's why Cory Booker is all giddy over it. If she was a conservative judge, if she was appointed by Donald Trump, do you think that he would be expressing just unbelievable joy? This is just so great. And I'm out jogging today, and people are grabbing me and saying they're so excited about this. No, no way.
And don't forget that it was Joe Biden who filibustered Janice Rogers Brown back when he was in the Senate.
Right.
But whatever.
Jim
Crow relic, right?
Yep.
There you go.
All of these Republicans asking questions of Judge Jackson didn't sit well with Joy Behar yesterday on The View.
Oh, no, we've upset Joy?
We've upset Joy, and I hate when that happens, but here she is.
Here you have a woman, Ketanji, who reminded me of Obama a little bit because he was also perfect. He had nothing wrong going on. And it's like the movie, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? And Sidney Poitier plays this psychologist or a doctor who's perfect.
These people are psychotic.
They have to have a perfect black person to run. Otherwise, they can't do that. The Republicans will not be able to deal with it. So what you have here are 50 senators who are going to vote against this woman who is above reproach.
No, she's not.
The first black woman in that position. That is going to be on their record.
Did you watch
And that's why they're asking these dumb questions, so that they can have something to bring back to their constituency when they go home and say, well, look at, Sheba doesn't believe that babies are racist or whatever the hell they were talking about. Who even knows what they're talking about? But they need something because it's an embarrassment to the country to vote against a woman of this caliber.
It is. It's an
embarrassment. There's the applause of the stupid lemmings in the audience. That's great. Have you watched the hearing? Above reproach? No, not to anybody with any common sense.
Just wanting a nominee that isn't pro child pornography. That's all. That's the crazy bar we've set here.
And that nonsense that Barack Obama was perfect and never had any taint on him. Really? Wow. Fast and Furious, the situation in Benghazi,
spying on journalists over and over and over again. Did you already say Fast and Furious?
Yeah.
Okay,
I did.
that one.
Yeah, that was the first one I mentioned.
My bad.
So,
but he's perfect.
He's perfect. Yeah. He's perfect, and so is she. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Oh, what about the cash on the Iranian tarmac? Sorry.
Yeah.
That's always a big one for me.
But that was only a few $1 billion. Don't worry about that. What was it? Almost $2 billion, I think, that they left him?
But he was perfect.
But there's no taint at all there. He's perfect.
He kind of floats above us.
Right. Yeah. He's almost God, according to the Newsweek.
Evan Thomas.
Dumbass.
What was his name? Is it Ezra Thomas? Evan Thomas? Evan Thomas.
I'm not sure.
Time Magazine. Sorry, I get distracted here.
Yeah. All right. Was it Time Magazine or was it Newsweek? I think it was Newsweek.
I mean, in a way, Obama's standing above the country, above the world. He's sort of God.
Wow. Yeah. And then, we had the Chris Matthews. I don't know if they still have that. Where Chris Matthews said that Obama was perfect as well. He was the perfect family man. He's the perfect senator. He was the perfect president. He's never done anything wrong. Wow. Have you guys ever been sucked in to the hype? Wow. He's perfect. And now, so is she. Let me tell you about Real Estate Agents I Trust. Because if you're looking to sell your home, you want to do it quickly. You want to get the most money out of it. If you're buying a home, you want to get the most for your money. And that's where a great realtor comes in. And that's why you turn to Real Estate Agents I Trust. Because these are the agents that have been carefully vetted by Glenn's team. And these agents are just, frankly, the best in the market. Just the best in any given city. Wherever you are, there's going to be wherever you are, there's going to be a Real Estate Agents I Trust agent who can get you through this process and do a great job for you because they've got great marketing plans, great track records. Real Estate Agents I Trust. The name says it all. realestateagentsitrust.com.
You're listening to Pat Gray Unleashed.
Now, yesterday I mentioned that Rand Paul would probably be one of the Republicans who voted for Ketanji Brown because he believes that the president should have his nominee. He's made that clear in the past. However, yesterday he made it sound like he's not quite ready to do that this time.
My main objection has been to her, I think, just sort of inability to answer even the simplest questions. You know, Senator Blackburn asked her a question and said, "Can you define a woman?" Well, if you're not even willing to answer that question, and many of the questions she's been unwilling to answer, but if you can't answer the question, what is a woman, or the definition of a woman, how's she going to adjudicate Title IX cases that have to do with women women in sports? How's she going to adjudicate whether a boy who swims for UPenn can then all of a sudden switch and pretend to be a girl and swim on the girls' team? She's not going to be able to adjudicate any of these things, or actually she's telegraphing to us that she is going to adjudicate them in such that you can be whatever you feel like you want to be that day, which will lead to a ruination of women's sports and will lead to really chaos in women's sports and women's athletics. I mean, what kind of bizarre world are we living in now that the woman of the year is really a man that's had some kind of surgery to remove their secondary sexual characteristics? You know, that's the woman of the year we're supposed to be celebrating. What about real women? We're not going to celebrate real women who are doing amazing in our country in every occupation you can imagine. We're going to let men who now think they're women get women's prizes. I mean, it's just an amazing insult. And if she can't define women, I think she's going to be part of the problem.
Yep. I mean, that's it at all. Has Rachel Levin had surgery? Has she had sex change surgery? Because he mentioned that. I
can't keep up with all these.
I know it's hard to. I mean, I don't. There she is, right there, and so beautiful. So you would think, as lovely as she is, you would think,
sure,
yeah, she's full-fledged woman there with the surgery and everything's put in its place. I'm sure.
Like the garbage can, apparently.
Have no doubt about that. Yeah, and she's the woman of the year. Okay. Really good point from Rand Paul.
Doesn't sound like a yes vote to me.
What about what? Yeah, no, it doesn't. It doesn't. What about real women? What about women, biological women who have been birthed as women and grown up as women and stayed women? We don't have anybody that you could honor
Republicans,
in that category?
You know, taking the side of women in all of this transgender in sports and dudes coming and competing against the women doesn't really fit the narrative of the Republican war on women, does it?
No, it really doesn't.
Might need to reassess that, y'all.
There's no doubt about it. I mean, there is a war on women now, and it's being waged by left-wing morons. It's being waged by Democrats, and it's despicable. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Up in Canada, the ruling party, the Liberal Party, and opposition New Democratic Party, the NDP, have reached a surprise agreement that aims to keep the minority government in power until 2025. They just struck that deal. So
I don't understand these deal-making governments
in Parliament. Yeah.
Stupid.
It's a weird form of government. It really is.
Do they not have calendars up there? And then you say, look, every 4 years,
we'll vote again.
The first Tuesday after the first Monday, you vote for president. It's been done. You can do this, Canada.
Apparently they can't, because Trudeau is now, they've agreed, he's going to be there till 2025. Governments with a minority of seats in Parliament, like the one Trudeau now leads, tend to last an average of about 2 years.
That's going to be 10 years for this guy.
Yeah.
Gross.
But this rare written agreement could permit it to go the entire 4-year term after last year's election. What this means is that during this uncertain time, the government can function with predictability and stability, present and implement budgets, and get things done for Canadians, according to Trudeau.
Cool.
That's what it means.
So more tyranny.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That's right. I guess Canadians haven't gotten enough of it, and so they're about to get another 3 years' worth. After the election 6 months ago, New Democrat leader Jagmeet Singh ruled out a deal with the Liberals, saying he was willing to support Trudeau only on a case-by-case basis. Apparently that went right down the drain.
Wow.
And so he's
because his great leadership in Ottawa.
That's impressed people.
Yeah, they were like, man,
yeah,
we got to get more of this tyranny and lock it in for a while. It's terrible.
And, you know, there's a NATO gathering going on in Europe right now to discuss Russia. But beforehand, Canada's Justin Trudeau visited the European Parliament.
Uh-oh.
And he got a little dressing down from a member of the European Parliament, Mislav Kalakasic.
Sure, yeah.
Kalakasic.
So this guy is from Croatia.
Okay.
And he's lived under communism. And he was appalled by what he saw with the truckers in Ottawa and the crackdown by Trudeau.
Because these guys have experienced this stuff before.
Yep.
That's why they're so good when they start talking about freedom and liberty. Here's what he said. Well, I guess this is all gibberish. Unfortunately, today, there are those who trample on these fundamental values. Canada, once a symbol of the modern world.
Looks back at him.
Wow. Has become a symbol of civil rights violations. Under your quasi-liberal boot in recent months. Nice. We watched how you trample women with horses.
Wow.
How you block the bank accounts of single parents. So that they can't even pay their children's education and medicine, that they can't pay utilities, mortgages for their homes. To you, these may be liberal methods. For many citizens of the world, it's a dictatorship of the worst kind. Rest assured that the citizens of the world, united, can stop any regime that wants to destroy the freedom of citizens, either by bombs or harmful pharmaceutical products. Nice. Thank you.
Thank you. Gonna make my
and he looked right back and addressed him directly.
I'm talking to you, Turdo.
That guy's got giblets.
Yep.
And what he said was exactly right. Exactly right. That's amazing. That in Europe, they were paying attention to this. And it bothered them to the point where he stood up and gave that pronouncement. That is fantastic.
I'd like to point out that you said, but in Europe, without having to say, but in Europe.
Right.
When does that ever happen?
But in Europe, yeah, it used to be. That was always pointing toward something stupid that happened in Europe. Lately,
all right,
it's been the opposite.
Yep. All right.
That's sad that it's come to this, though, where we're looking to Europe because they're leading the way to freedom.
And a case can be made. That's why Ukraine is pushing back so hard on Russia. Because they're like, no. We recall a generation ago. We know what it's like to live under communism and the Russian rule of thumb, or under their thumb, and we're not going to do that anymore. And
they're fighting hard against it.
What were the numbers we had this morning, Pat?
We're going to share those coming up here in a minute, I think.
All right.
Because it's worth really discussing what's going on in this war right now. You know, even if Russia winds up winning this war and dominating Ukraine and taking them back into the Soviet fold, it will have cost them dearly. Is it worth the price they're paying?
And let's say that they do win this war. You think you're going to subdue the Ukrainians?
I don't think so.
They are going to be a thorn in your side until you withdraw.
And by the way, they're now an armed populace because the government armed their citizens because of this invasion. And the liberals were all excited about that. They were giddy about that.
Right?
Just
throw your hands up. What?
It's incredible. Yeah.
I mean, what's happening in Ukraine right now is a demonstration of why you should support the Second Amendment.
Yep. Exactly. Well, that's what it was all about from the beginning.
Yep.
888-900-3393. More coming up.
Now back to Pat Gray on the Blaze Radio Network.
Welcome. A tweet here from, several tweets, but Vern Lundquist tweets, Ketanji is regretful that her past rulings are being scrutinized for the highest court in the land. What a joke.
Yeah.
Indeed. Yeah, she was. She was bothered by that. What do we have to go on here, Puddin'? We're trying to figure out whether or not you should be confirmed. So help us out with that, would you? You can't define a woman. You can't support or take back any of your rulings. Do you still stand by them or not? We're not supposed to ask her that. Incredible.
Help.
Privateer Tyler Morgan with 2 Ys. How do we nominate Cory Booker for a Razzie for yesterday's performance? Yeah, that's the opposite of the Oscars.
Okay.
They give the Razzies for the worst performances.
Oh, no.
Jimmy Dimples tweets, Obama, perfect and spotless? Thanks, guys. After a long third shift night, I needed a good hard laugh.
You're welcome.
Pathetic. Are you kidding me? The guy was, I think, corrupt. And in fact, there are people who think that his administration was one of the most corrupt ever. And it just didn't come out because nobody was interested in it. None of the media wanted to know about it.
Not my Barack Obama.
Yeah, yours.
What?
Yeah.
I won't
Isn't
hear
it
of
something?
it.
I know. So we were talking about the Russian invasion of Ukraine right before the break and the losses that they've incurred. Get this. Russia has suffered more losses in the 26 days since the start of their full-scale invasion than the Soviet army did over the course of a decade from 1979 to 89 in Afghanistan.
Wow.
That is an incredible statistic.
Wow.
Because they didn't do well in Afghanistan either.
Yep.
So that is really telling. The Soviet army losses in Afghanistan amounted to about 15,051 personnel, whereas the losses currently suffered by the Russian army in Ukraine amount to around 15,300 personnel. Now, apparently, they're including killed, wounded, and captured in that.
Okay.
So that's 15,300 Russian troops that have been removed from the battlefield, or 40% of the invading force. 40%. That's incredible.
Yeah, and the Ukrainians just blew up a ship, a large landing ship there docked in Ukraine. That's a big deal. Just broke
with a missile of some kind. Wonder where they got that.
I don't know. What was
probably
the other thing?
From us?
You've already got a member of Putin's cabinet has resigned.
Yeah, and
I saw you see the headline.
Right?
Oh,
Didn't it say
I'm sure.
he also fled because he's afraid for his life, obviously.
You see the headline, you go, oh, wow, it's starting to fall apart. And then you see, it was like the climate czar or something like that. And you're like, okay.
And he probably left because the climate is being hurt by this invasion.
But I have questions, though. It's like, Russia really is concerned about the climate ever? So,
no.
Anyhow, so there's somebody from his inner circle that's calling it a day.
That's things are not going well. This is not going as planned. They continue to claim, this is going as planned. Really? You planned on losing 40% of your attacking force?
Yeah, it's a rope-a-dope.
That was a bad plan. Jeez. You really planned on losing hundreds of tanks and aircraft and armored carriers and armored vehicles.
Yeah, see, we knew that just invading another sovereign country would look bad on its surface. So we thought we would get our asses kicked long enough to become the underdog, and then maybe people start rooting for us, and then we'll come back and win.
Yeah, except that's not working out for them, is it? Not a lot of people jumping into that and really supporting the Ruskies now.
Ruskies, yes. Bring that back. We got to bring that back.
Let's bring it back. This is the time when everybody hates them, right?
Right, yeah.
Who's going to complain about calling them Ruskies?
Bring back Cold War.
Nobody. Also, speaking of things that have gone badly in Afghanistan, the Biden administration and the Associated Press are both apparently shocked that the Taliban promises were kind of worthless. Remember the promise that, oh no, we're gonna let girls be educated now.
Right.
Yeah. But will you let them be educated past the 6th grade? Oh, of course. Yeah, they can do what they want. They can be educated all the way to college. Well, a stunning surprise, as the AP put it, it was unexpected, a surprising and unexpected move that girls in Afghanistan cannot be educated after the 6th grade. Who saw that coming? Other than everybody but the AP and the Biden administration. Remember how professional the Taliban was?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
We were being asked, oh, no, we talked to these guys. I think we can trust what they're doing
Taliban.
now. Yeah, this is a different... This is
Taliban 2.0.
This isn't your, older brother's Taliban.
Yeah.
This is the new and improved Taliban.
Oh.
So women are going to be treated really well with respect.
And that's not happening?
Well, I mean, they respect him enough that they can get a 6th grade education. Isn't that enough? I mean, what do you want?
But that's not what they said.
What do you want? It's not what they said, but come on. I mean, girls, do they really need any more education than that? All they're going to do is cook and clean for you, right?
Yeah.
And the reason we let them be educated till they're 6th graders is so that they can learn how to cook and clean.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. So I mean, you get the basic life skills down, and then we're done here.
It's not like they're going to need quadratic equations,
right? Well, I don't know that anybody needs that. Maybe that's a bad example.
Haven't you solved a lot of quadratic equations since you've been an adult?
Bro, long division challenges me. Are you kidding me?
I mean, there is no need for any of that stuff unless you're going to be a scientist.
That's the thing. When you're educating your kids, and especially you're a homeschool dad, you've had to be asked. You've had asked this question probably from your kids before. It's like, really, when are we going to use this?
Yes.
And it's like, you know what? Just
do it.
Just do it.
It helps you learn how to think.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, because when was the last time I used trigonometry? Junior year in high school when I was taking trigonometry.
Right. I know. When the kids ask that question, that's your answer. Like, what do you say? Because unless you're an architect or an engineer or something like that, your answer is go to your room. That's the answer to number 12.
Yeah, it's time for bed.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's know your place o'clock.
Yeah, and shut your fat face o'clock,
too.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, wow. So it's really getting late.
Seriously, kids, you're not going to use it after today, as a matter of fact.
So, and that's what the Taliban just figured. Afghanistan's Taliban rulers unexpectedly, love that from the AP, unexpectedly decided against reopening schools Wednesday to girls above the 6th grade. Like the AP, which called the move so sudden, people inside the Biden administration were also caught off guard. U.S. Special Representative for Afghanistan, Thomas West, tweeted his, quote, shock and deep disappointment, unquote. His shock? Come on. How naive are you? Were you born yesterday? But he tweeted his shock and disappointment over the terror group's declaration and ripped the Taliban for betraying its public commitments and previous statements that all of their people have a right to an education. If you can't trust the Taliban, who can you trust?
What is the world coming to?
I'm telling you, I've just been devastated by this. I join millions of Afghan families in expressing shock and disappointment with the Taliban's decision to not allow women and girls to return to school above grade 6. Education is a fundamental right of all human beings and is essential to Afghanistan's economic growth and stability. This is a betrayal of public commitments to the Afghan people and to the international community. I bet the Taliban is just really ashamed of themselves now.
Yeah.
After that tweet. Well, I bet they feel really badly.
Well, not only do they feel bad, it's just like they're in a position now where it's like, what else are they going to do that they went back on?
Right.
I mean, that now I'm really concerned. Like, maybe this is going to be a pattern of terrorists running a country and lying to us.
And running it into the ground?
Right.
Where, like, almost all the people there now are starving.
Oh, the poverty level there is just
it's unbelievable.
Horrific. Honestly, is there anything with Afghanistan that the Biden administration saw coming. Because everything,
Apparently
they always
not.
seem surprised by everything.
I know.
Oh.
And
But it's Trump's fault, by the way. Don't forget that.
Right.
All this was Trump's fault.
But he went on to say the Taliban have made clear that all Afghan citizens have a right to education for the sake of the country's future and its relations with the international community. I would urge the Taliban to live up to their commitments to their people. Well, okay. I didn't realize you were going to urge us. Well, why didn't you say that in the first place? Okay. It's unbelievable. It really is.
You got to see Taliban, like the hierarchy there. Can you see like their meetings? They're sitting around and they're like, okay, so who has the Biden administration tweet you wanted to share with the class here? Mm-hmm. And then they read that and oh my gosh, they just have a good old time.
They laugh.
Yucking it up.
Yeah.
You believe this? The Associated Press is also surprised, man. That's like a cherry on top. Help.
Yep. They've got to be laughing hysterically at our ineptitude. Because who's ever seen anything like this from the world's superpower? That's what's shocking. That's what's surprising is just how bad they are.
Do you feel that the United States of America can still call itself a superpower? I was thinking of this the other day because this administration alone has called on other countries to do the stuff that we always expected we would do.
Yeah.
And we could go through a whole list of them, but one of them is calling on China. China, fix the Russia-Ukraine thing. Mm-hmm. When in our past have we called on another country to fix something like that? Like that. Like something that involves a, quote, another superpower, Russia?
Yeah.
We've learned differently lately.
I think our superpower status has definitely been tainted and is on the decline.
So are we sharing that superpower status with China and Russia?
I think so too.
But we still qualify as that just because we have a lot of nukes?
Yeah.
Because we have a lot of nukes. Okay.
And by default, because who else is going to claim? I guess China could claim that crown. But so far, I think we're still clinging to it, but just barely. Let me tell you about Rough Greens. Your dog means a lot to you. It's part of your family. You want the best for it. You want it to be healthy and happy. And that's where Rough Greens comes in. Rough Greens is a supplement. It's not dog food. It's a dog food supplement you sprinkle on top of your dog's food. And then it puts back all of the nutrients that have been burned out of your dog's dry kibble food so that it will last for 2 or 3 years on the grocery store shelves. Rough Greens has all the vitamins and minerals, the probiotics and antioxidants that your dog needs to be healthy and really active. Plus, they love this stuff. For a long time, my dog just wouldn't touch her food unless you sprinkled the Rough Greens on top of it first. So most dogs, including mine, go crazy for this stuff. Glenn's does, Stu's does. Now Keith's didn't.
They're special.
I think you only tried it once, though, right?
Yeah.
So Rough Greens wants you to be able to make sure that your dog loves it before you make a commitment to buying it. So they're going to send you a free bag of Rough Greens for your dog to try out for a few days. Just pay the shipping, and the rest of it you don't have to worry about. Just go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com, or call 833-783-3364.
Pat Gray.
Did you see the latest comment by Fauci? Anthony Fauci.
Still talking?
He's back and forth, up and down, all around. He is now saying that we might see an uptick in COVID-19, but I don't really see, unless something changes dramatically, that there would be a major surge. He actually said he doesn't believe that we're going to have a really bad outbreak again. Wow. Where is that coming from? Because up until this point, he's been trying to ratchet up the fear-mongering the whole time. And
because on Friday,
maintain control.
So Friday of last week, let me see if I remember all this. He said we may already be out of it.
Yes.
It might be time to retire.
Then on Sunday, he said, no.
No, yeah. We're not out of this yet. I might have to stick around for a while. And now on a Wednesday, so literally 5 days removed, he's back to where he started on Friday.
He's back to maybe this thing's over again. Wow.
I mean, but you guys be sure to listen. That's just it. Which point in time are you trusting your little G God, Dr. Fauci?
And then, once you trust him on what he said today, what happens tomorrow when he changes his tune completely and says the opposite? Do you still trust him? It's pretty amazing.
I don't know how you live in this world. Following someone like that is all over the place. Do you just... Selective hearing, man.
Yeah, it's incredible. What the UK is not seeing, he said, and that's the good news, is an increase of severity or an increase in the use of intensive care unit beds or an increase in the all-cause mortality rate, which means that despite the fact that there are cases going up, there does not appear to be any increase in the degree of severity of the outbreak. So hopefully when we do, and I think it will be that we do see an uptick, hopefully it won't be accompanied by an increase in hospitalizations, but it just remains to be seen. So there he gives himself the out again, where I might be completely wrong, and we might go to hell in a handbasket still. I don't know. It's just bizarre. It really is bizarre. Discussing ivermectin as a cure for anything is, of course, forbidden in this country. You dare not, or you'll be for sure eliminated from Twitter and YouTube.
Somebody sent me this. They noted on the National Institutes of Health government website.
The NIH.
Yeah, look at that.
We're going to tell you what the NIH
it's up there
had to say.
It's already there. He already put it up on the screen. Because Rob got ahead of us.
And speed readers were able to decipher exactly what it said.
Yeah, let's just...
So maybe a speed reader can call us and explain the story to us. In the meantime, we'll be back with all of that information and so much more here on Pat Gray Unleashed. Great to have you with us. A few tweets. Magazine Overtime Watcher.
Nice.
Tweets. And by the way, don't forget to subscribe so that you can be a part of our overtime situation where you can have access to it.
Yeah.
You go to blazetv.com/Pat and type in the promo code More Unleashed. You'll get $15 off your yearly subscription.
Yeah, we have some fun so far this week. Hillary Kennedy, she came in here. And that was one day. Yesterday, we talked about your eclectic musical taste that I think many, many found shocking.
Really?
Seriously. I'm sincere. I thought that was pretty awesome. So we've had some fun there.
Yes, we have.
If you want to be a part of it,
and we'll continue to.
Sign up.
Sign up. The Russians will bounce back, though, now that all the McDonald's have been shut down there. They'll all be more physically fit for war games.
That's true.
From Jimmy Dimples, new improved Taliban? Before I swallow that, I'll swallow new Coke. Carol Remarks tweets, Taliban not any different from most American politicians. Say one thing and then do something else. Comrade Snoopage tweets, girls can't go to school in Afghanistan. They should just identify as male. Problem solved.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm sure the Taliban will be all over that.
And Ataki Yuki, spelled with two Y's at the beginning, two U's in the middle, and Kiyy at the end.
I love that.
The only time adults use high school level math is when you're helping your high school level kid with their math homework. Except that doesn't work anymore because they do it completely differently now.
That's true.
I mean, they can't even add and subtract, multiply and divide the way we did, which was the way to do it because it was like a one-step process. Now they've got 5 or 6 steps.
Stupid.
Asinine. And they can't memorize anything. They're encouraged not to, which I don't know why you would.
I don't understand anything. To quote Calvin Coolidge near the end of his life, I feel I no longer fit in with these times.
Boy, is not the truth. It was true then. Nah, it's true now. And he said that because he was seeing what was going on with FDR.
Just been elected, yeah.
Yeah, and he died not long after that, so he really couldn't be part of things. So we were talking about ivermectin as not being a cure for anything because it's obviously horse paste. How stupid are you if you're going to take horse paste? Well, that's what the prevailing theory was, that it's forbidden in this country, and it's ridiculous, and you're a moron if you take it.
Yeah, and apparently there's a page at the NIH website, government website, that a listener found and sent to us.
This is incredible to me.
And this was, by the way, updated in February of 2021, I believe it was.
And we don't need to read the whole paragraph, but just listen to the headline. A 5-day course of ivermectin for the treatment of COVID-19 may reduce the duration of illness.
Whoa.
What kind of conspiracy nut job
misinformation
is working for the CDC?
Wow.
Or is that the Food and Drug Administration, or is it the CDC? Yes, it's some government site on the NIH site.
Right.
Okay. So that was updated in February of 2021. How is that okay to?
Well, that page will be scrubbed.
You know it will.
They didn't realize it. We left one out there. We got to go get that.
It's crazy.
Care of.
Nuts. It's just nuts. Now, Fauci, we were talking about what he was saying about the fact that there may not be another major outbreak. He doesn't see one happening in the U.S. And it just might be that he's starting to understand what's going on in America. It's starting to read the room a little bit, because he said, I don't think there's much stomach for people to all of a sudden turn around, even if there is an uptick. Right. Thank you for finally getting it. I think that the desire to continue to go along in a way that is normal, as it were, I think there's going to be a lot of inertia for that, if not active pushback from people. If it's required to increase or go back to some kind of the mitigation, I think it's going to be a tough time convincing people to do that. You think? Yeah, I think you're right. And welcome to Earth. Anthony, that's great to have you here.
Time to retire.
Jeez.
Goodbye.
Meanwhile, speaking of all this COVID nonsense and things that don't make any sense at all, Kyrie Irving has now been cleared to rejoin the Nets during home games after New York has relaxed its COVID vaccine mandate.
Mm-hmm.
So the Brooklyn Nets are going to be able to have him play at home now. New York City is planning to relax its COVID-19 mandate and allow exemptions. This is going to happen today. They're allowing exemptions for athletes and entertainers.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my goodness. In other words,
the elites.
Yes, your job doesn't matter. Like, you and your life, they don't matter, right?
Yep. You're still subject to all our stupid rules. This change will allow Irving to play in home games for the Nets at the Barclays Center and allows for unvaccinated New York Mets and Yankees players to play in home games this season. So that also clears Aaron Judge.
Yeah, so Eric Adams is a baseball fan, apparently, because literally 24 hours before this, he's like, I don't know, we'll see what the numbers, if the trends continue to look good, then we'll revisit this 24 hours later.
Maybe by August or so. That's incredible.
Well, good. I love to see these stupid mandates, these illegal mandates, fall by the wayside. But I don't like to see it only apply to this niche group because they're celebrities.
Yeah, it's not for the common folk. You little people still have to follow our rules, okay? Which is as it should be, because you're so stupid. You don't know what to do with your life. So we're going to tell you. We know you need our help, so we'll continue to guide you along. Lead you by the nose wherever you need to go.
And I guarantee you, this has been top of mind for them in the last couple of weeks there, and they couldn't just do athletes. Because if you just do athletes, then you're going to have a big PR nightmare. So they're like, who else can we lump in with them? And they're like, performers. Let's do people like at Broadway and stuff like that, where, of course, they're already vaxxed.
And Bon Jovi, he's a leftist. We'll let him perform at Madison Square Garden without a mask. Okay. All right. Yeah, it's garbage.
They had to figure out another group, primarily represented on the left, like theater, and put this in there, and now they can come out with it. So, yeah, congratulations to the Yankees and Mets. You can now play your home games and Kyrie Irving. I mean, there's no science. Can we just Let's just be honest. There's no science at play here.
Well,
it never has
unless
been.
they've just come up with science that says entertainers and athletes can't get COVID-19. Maybe they are following that science.
Well,
I don't know.
They feel that they live in that rarefied air.
Yeah, they do. And you remember how ugly things were if you ever mentioned that this disease came from a Wuhan lab. You're a conspiracy nut. You're crazy out of your mind.
Yeah, you're not saying that. You're just
I'm not saying that.
Remember those crazies that did say that.
Right. Well, now the crazies are apparently running the asylum because
that's true.
It's okay now to say that a lab leak in Wuhan, China is now considered the most likely origin of the COVID pandemic behind closed doors in the government. It's been claimed after Boris Johnson signaled that security measures would be enhanced to prevent accidental escape. Monday, the Prime Minister told the House of Commons in UK that biosecurity strategy would be refreshed to protect against natural zoonosis and laboratory leaks. Mm-hmm. Now, the zoonosis is like animals, right? Animals passing it on to humans.
Yep.
And lab leaks. Wait, that's a possibility? I thought we were insane for mentioning it.
Mm-hmm. And now that's the official policy of the British government.
Right. Mm-hmm. There's mounting suspicion that COVID-19 leaked from the Wuhan Institute of Virology. What? Which had been collecting
news.
Why didn't we hear anything about
Breaking news. So they're gonna go with that?
That's what they're going with. These nutballs. Wow. What happened to the bat in the market? The bat soup we were all eating that was delicious, but problematic because it contained the virus.
Yeah. Have we moved on from the pangolin too?
Yeah, I think we moved on.
We moved on from that
the pangolin.
One? Okay.
I swear. It's so frustrating. Because we all said in the beginning it came from a Wuhan lab. Everybody knew that. Mm-hmm. But you couldn't say it. Not and keep your social media account. Here's a pretty wild invention. Researchers have created a fabric now that can hear your heartbeat. I reference this quite a bit. It was this show called Continuum, but man, were they prescient because they predicted a future where the corporations would be the government. Does not sound kind of familiar right now. And they had these suits where the fabric could do all kinds of different things.
In the what was the eye thing? Was it the glasses or was it in the eye?
Or was it a contact
something
sort of thing?
But it was like they could. I don't know.
Yeah,
it was such a great show though.
Special. Yeah, I loved it. I loved it. But imagine sitting in your house when suddenly you receive a phone call through your shirt. You answer the call and converse with the person on the other end. This scenario might soon be possible because of new research from engineers at MIT and their collaborators at Rhode Island School of Design. So you got the geniuses at MIT and you got the design kids at Rhode Island who do, I guess, clothing. These scientists have created a fabric that can hear sounds around you and inside your body.
Wow.
Look at that. And it just looks pretty normal.
Yeah.
Looks like a normal shirt.
Sure does. Yeah. Here we are. We setting the stage for Continuum, and I'll say that we're kind of on that timeline, aren't we?
Yeah. Yeah, we are. Wearing an acoustic garment, you might walk through it to answer your phones. You might talk through it. Sorry. You might talk through it to answer phone calls and communicate with others. That would really be something where you don't have to carry around a phone with you anymore or on your watch or whatever. It's just in your clothing that you wear. Jeez. The scientists have created this fabric that can hear sounds around and in you. And so not only can you answer your phone and communicate with people that way, but it will monitor your heart rate.
Wow.
And it will call EMT when you have any sort of heart problem or a health problem.
Get this sewn into like a pit stained T-shirt that I wear around the house on the weekend and sweatpants or something like that.
You call the people at MIT. Yeah, talk to them about that. Get on that.
What if I don't want to wear a collared shirt 90% of the time, all right?
This fabric can imperceptibly interface with the human skin, enabling wearers to monitor their heart and respiratory condition in a comfortable, continuous, real-time, and long-term manner.
See, I want to talk through my shirt. I don't want it monitoring my vitals.
That is really, I mean, we're progressing with technology at the speed of light.
Yeah. Yeah. And
it's exciting, but it's a little scary, too.
It is scary, yeah. And it also scary in conjunction with what you just alluded to as well with the show Continuum about how corporations basically controlling the government. And
we don't want that.
No. And I think you might have a clip that illustrates this beautifully today.
Glenn has been really focused lately, for a while now, on ESG. That almost all companies go by now. It's environmental, social justice, and the G is government. It's governance. Yeah. And so you get a certain score from them based on your efforts with the environment and with your social justice. It's unbelievable. Coke is doing it. Everybody's doing it. Well, BlackRock is probably a company that many people aren't familiar with, but it's a huge financial conglomerate that has assets of about, they manage assets of around $10 trillion conservatively. Some people think it's much, much more than that. But they have at least, that they admit to, $10 trillion in assets that they manage.
Wow.
So their CEO, Larry Fink, had this to say yesterday, which is amazing. Listen to this.
Well, behaviors are going to have to change, and this is one thing we're asking companies. You have to force behaviors, and at BlackRock, we are forcing behaviors.
Yeah, because they're insisting that people follow their ESG score, and if you don't, then you're just not going to be able to participate in society anymore. You don't like it? Tough. We're forcing your behaviors. Wow. And he admitted it.
Mm-hmm.
What are they doing that they're not admitting to?
Exactly.
mean,
when stuff like that slips out, you've got to think every time it's 10 times worse than what he just accidentally slipped out.
More like 1,000 times worse.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible. All right, let me tell you about ScoreMaster. Speaking of scores and your ability to buy things and to get credit. If you're thinking about doing that, wait about 3 weeks. And first, before you do apply for the credit, go to scoremaster.com/Pat. And they're going to show you how fast you can earn points and how many points you can earn. ScoreMaster, it takes about, a minute or so to sign up for. And then it can boost your credit score by an average of 61 points in 3 weeks or less. So give it some time, raise your credit score, and then apply for that credit. 61 points added to your credit score can save you tens of thousands on everything we finance. The technology was developed by credit scientists to boost your credit score higher and faster than you thought possible. ScoreMaster, really easy, as I mentioned, to sign up for. Try it for free right now, and they'll show you how many plus points you can add to your credit score. Go to scoremaster.com/Pat. Scoremaster.com/Pat.
This is Pat Gray. Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
I was just looking over these cookies at a site called Kexi.com.
Never heard of them.
Man, do those look like delicious cookies. Holy cow. Texas sheet cake.
What?
Rocky Road cookies. Peanut butter drizzle. This is their spring line, apparently, at Kexi.com.
Their spring line? Okay.
The mint chocolate chip.
Okay. Yeah.
The M&M cookie. And all of these are on sale right now. Oh, the lemon. I begged my wife, let's do a lemon cookie because I'm on this lemon kick for some reason. I don't know. Lemon and caramel, anything with those two things in it, I'm all over it.
Yeah.
And this lemon cookie is so delicious.
I've said this before, and I sincerely mean it.
You want samples?
No. We'll get to that.
Okay.
A Kexi cookie and a beer.
And
that
a beer.
Makes a meal.
Okay.
Quite frankly. Kexi Cookie, the unofficial cookie of atthemikeshow.com, by the way, my podcast.
Nice.
I want to thank the Steve 42. He and his wife are sending a batch of cookies from Kexi.com to me.
You?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
really?
They're on their way. So thank you,
nice.
Steve. Appreciate that.
Well, and hopefully you took advantage of the sale prices that are going on for spring.
So you're off the hook, Pat.
Kexi.com.
Good. You don't have to send me any cookies.
I'm glad to hear
Steve's going to take care of it for me.
All right. Let me tell you about one other thing You can sign up right now for a Blaze TV subscription and get $15 off of that subscription when you use the promo code More Unleashed. Why? Because there is now More Unleashed. We call it overtime.
Oh.
Yeah.
Where'd we get that?
From management, actually. That did not come from us. So blazetv.com/Pat. And like yesterday, we told you all the squares on the Pat Gray bingo card. So, I mean, you'll get some inside stuff as
That's
well.
right, yeah.
As well as just incredible entertainment.
And we are dangerously close.
We are.
To
yes,
a
we
couple
are.
places we could go here.
Huh.
They're all in your hands.
Yeah, okay. All right, 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter.
Well, behaviors are going to have to change, and this is one thing we're asking companies. You have to force behaviors, and at BlackRock, we are forcing behaviors.
I frankly don't think we can remind people of this enough. What's going on with our corporations? Big corporations that you don't even necessarily know, like this financial institution, BlackRock, where they control so many people's assets, up to, I've actually heard it's more like 20 or 30 or 50 trillion dollars in assets that they manage. So they've got a lot of pull. And they're doing this ESG thing, and they're forcing it down the throats of companies. And what it is trying to control your behavior. Mm-hmm. They are trying to force your behavior. And it's incredible. He just came out and said it.
Right. Okay, so yesterday you played the gay marriage thing.
Right.
Where they just, I'm going to come right out and say it, you know. We've had the guy pushing Obamacare saying, you know, it's right there. It's not a Trojan horse. It's right there. Yeah. And you got this guy. And does this not fit in perfectly with what Glenn has been saying for years, is they're just going to take the mask off. And here they are, another example of it right there with the corporate guy.
They're doing it. Also, another example of that is Biden saying that he's going to lead the New World Order. Wait.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he thinks he's going to be.
What? Jeez.
They don't care anymore.
That's a phrase that we've been on the lookout for, 30 years or whatever. Mm-hmm. And now they're just starting to use it. And people used to, New World Order, that's a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, it was George H.W. Bush who said that famously back in the early 90s.
Let the cat out of the bag that was the plan. And it just shows you how patient they are. Again, progressives are just patient communists. They just believe in being patient, letting it evolve over time. Communists want to have a revolution and do it right now. But how effective has it been to just let this simmer for 100 years, and then when people finally wake up to what's going on, it's too late. So they deserve a little pushback from us, rank and file human beings, rank and file American citizens. The Babylon Bee has put out the conservative equipment, the equivalent of hearing some startling news. Remember this woman when RBG died?
She wasn't happy.
She was not happy.
You guys! I'm driving in a car, but I just got a notification that Ruth Bader Ginsburg died!
Right! She screamed fun.
Could this year get any worse? Ruth! You just had to make it to 2021!
So inconsiderate.
I don't know that Ruth heard that message, though.
I don't.
Whatever.
Don't think she did, but
okay.
Here's the conservative equivalent to hearing about a Supreme Court justice from the Babylon Bee.
Oh no,
it's fun.
Holy flipping poop, you guys! I'm driving in the car right now, but I just got a notification that Clarence Thomas is hospitalized.
Oh.
Rats! Could this year get any flipping worse? Clarence, all you have to do is make it to 2024, and then Trump will be president again. Barnacles! If something happens to you, I'll only have 5 other black conservatives to quote. Barnacles!
That's really good.
That's good stuff.
That's really good. And it just shows you how insane people on the left are.
Yeah, that's true. However, Clarence Thomas, if you happen to see this message, please
stay alive.
By all that is holy.
Yes, you must stay alive, Clarence. Please. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up.
Pat Gray returns on the Blaze Radio Network.
Well, behaviors are going to have to change, and this is one thing we're asking companies. You have to force behaviors, and at BlackRock we are forcing behaviors.
At BlackRock, they're forcing behaviors. So what? Wow, who do you think you are? Well, he thinks he's the power behind the figurehead. That's what oh wait, he's right. I'm sure BlackRock is controlling much of what we see every day. It's chilling. By the way, we're going to spend some time on a new fact that we just realized, and that is tipping is a legacy of slavery.
Say what now?
Yeah, we're going to delve into that in overtime.
Oh.
Don't miss it.
BlazeTV.com.
Got some tweets here, rants out loud tweets. Hey, Fauci, we aren't burning the house down to kill the mosquito again.
Yep.
Which is kind of what the lockdowns did.
Now, if it had been a spider, I would have been all for burning the house down to kill the spider.
All right, but not the mosquito.
It's going to be ridiculous.
Gary D., will members of the curling team be exempt from the mandate, or are they not considered athletes?
Whoa, easy. Easy. You know they're athletes.
Have you not seen the incredible athleticism of these curlers? The sweeping they do down the ice? You think just anybody can do that?
What is it? Jeffy calls himself athletically overweight?
Yeah.
There we are.
Yeah. The Unmasked Avenger tweets, so the virus escaped from a level 4 biological containment lab, but a little piece of cloth or paper will keep you from getting it.
See, now you
got it. Now he's finally got it.
Took you 2 years. You got there.
Squatching Duck, they already have watches that do all that, and you don't even have to wear a shirt or anything else. Yes, that's true. But we're talking about the body clothing.
Yeah, I want to talk into my shirt.
Right. It's still kind of cool, I think.
It'd be cooler to talk into my fabric
right?
than my wrist. I mean, that's old. I mean, Dick Tracy.
You look like
doing
Dick
that
Tracy,
forever, right?
yeah.
Forget that.
Yeah. B. DeBodine tweets, if Jeffy had one of those shirts, all it would hear is his body saying, "Let me eat! Let me eat!" That. Jitty traffic emails. The WEF and other global elitist organizations have indoctrinated people into the cult so effectively they can literally state their nefarious intentions out loud, and the cultists will deny it. That's incredible to me. Yeah, me too, but you're right.
Well, behaviors are going to have to change, and this is one thing we're asking companies. You have to force behaviors, and at BlackRock we are forcing behaviors.
Okay, so he's telling other companies
to force behaviors.
Be like us.
Right. Yeah, he is.
Gross.
Yes, he is. And he controls an awful lot of companies, too. So, the financial institutions are made by BlackRock. The decisions at financial institutions. All right, North Korea. Here's something else that's chilling. They've just tested a banned intercontinental ballistic missile for the first time since 2017, according to South Korea. Mm-hmm. Japanese officials estimated it flew 684 miles. It fell in Japanese waters after flying for more than an hour. An ICBM can travel thousands of kilometers. Well, what is that? Thousands of inches?
Seriously.
Thousands of feet? Thousands of miles?
Not a clue.
No idea.
Not a clue.
There's no way to tell.
So I don't know. Is this a threat or is it not?
I don't know. I honestly don't. I don't know. But on a standard trajectory, they can travel a long way, apparently, and could theoretically reach the U.S. North Korea has launched a flurry of missile tests in recent weeks.
What?
U.S. and South Korea have said some of those tests, which Pyongyang claimed were satellite launches, were actually trials of an ICBM system.
Hold on. Let me test me on this. Let's see if my timeline is good.
Uh-huh.
So 2017, North Korea launches missiles. Trump goes over there, talks to patty cake guy who claps like this, and then they chill, right?
Yeah.
Now Trump's gone, and they're lobbing multiple missiles over the course of the last few weeks?
Correct.
What's different?
Well, you mentioned Trump in there.
Yeah.
He's still alive.
Sure.
So.
I want my damn Trump back.
Yeah, everybody knows this administration is so weak. They don't even know what's going on, in fact. So they think they can do whatever they want, and they're probably right.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, look at Russia. They did whatever they want. China's going to do whatever they want. North Korea's doing what they want. And we've encouraged Iran as well.
It's so bad now. Canada's doing whatever they want. Who could have seen that coming?
Nobody.
That's how weak Biden is.
Oh, man.
Help us.
Yeah. I mean, just to show you how bad things are and how crazy the left is, Bill Maher actually went on Adam Carolla's podcast and discussed a solar power debacle at his house. Listen to this.
California has got to get its arms around this issue. I mean, it just does. First of all, we know there's been an exodus from this state, and that's partly because of high taxes, and it's partly because fire season is all year round, but it's also because people can't do anything, as you're talking about. I just read that the cost of building a single unit for the homeless has now risen to $837,000. I just don't think people understand the level of graft that is built into the system, the level of corruption. And that's what I was getting at when I made that crusade about my solar. I mean, first of all, I just did want to get it hooked up. But can you imagine the level of corruption, the level of bureaucracy that I was ranting and raving about this on the air for over a year, and they still couldn't get it done? I have a picture of 11 people at my house who finally showed 11 people to turn on a light bulb.
Yeah.
It basically, I mean, first of all, I had to build a shed to house the thing, which is about the size of that. This is the box that apparently the solar comes into. I had to build its own home, which probably could house the homeless. People could live in that shed. It's a beautiful shed that houses a little box.
Right.
That took forever. It has to be 55 feet from the curb. It has to this. It has to that. I mean, it used to come in on a pole. They probably could have done it just on that, but no. Had to have its own shed. And then all the people who had to come out and see it. Look, I can't get into the ins and outs. I don't want to. It was too painful a memory. But all the regulations that, I mean, it's I don't know if it's Orwellian or Kafkaesque or both of them. It was just strange, very strange. What the hoops that you had to jump through to do something that the state was advising you to do. Solar power was something I thought I was being a good citizen trying to hook up.
He's coming to some realizations lately that are amazing.
And
it's just amazing.
He knows who to blame, too.
Let's see. Does he? Here's
people
who
have
blames.
got to understand there are just too many people with their hand out. There are too many people who are unnecessary in this equation.
No.
And this is kind of like beyond politics, or it should be, but it's going to get hung on, and deservedly so, on the Democrats, because they run this state.
Thank
you.
you.
It's not like the Republicans are great on this either, but they don't run the state right now. The Democrats do.
Yeah, right now, and for how long have they run all of these states and municipalities?
Yeah, and apparently in that conversation with Adam Carolla, Bill Maher went on to say that California is dangerously close to flipping red. I hope so.
That'd be great.
I'd like to see that.
Well, he seems dangerously close to flipping red.
Right.
I don't think he'll vote for Republicans, but I mean, he's obviously turned off by the Democrats and how stupid they've become, how radical they are, how extreme their policies have become, and he can't even abide it.
I just feel that the people that have common sense in California are part of that mass exodus that he was referring to, and they're not going to stick around to try to help it turn red.
Well, I think the exodus is kind of universal because no, who can afford, for one thing, who can afford a 1-bedroom house for $1,500,000? A 1-bedroom house for $1.5 million. Really? No. And why would you do that when you can come to Texas and for $1.5 million will buy you, I don't know, 6,000 square feet?
And they're not going to get any cheaper with companies like BlackRock screwing up the market.
Right.
Well, behaviors are going to have to change. And this is one thing we're asking companies. You have to force behaviors. And at BlackRock, we are forcing behaviors.
Oh, good for you.
And mortgage rates have now spiked on the heels of the Fed announcement that they're raising interest rates. So interest rates with mortgages.
And gas prices, while they've come down a few cents in some places, the average just hit $6 a gallon in Los Angeles. $6 a gallon.
Yep, and even more for diesel out there.
So now a group of House Democrats has introduced a plan for monthly gas checks to families. They would provide $100 for single people earning below $75,000 and $200 for couples making under $150,000.
Yeah, and they're adding $100 for each dependent. So each kid you have, you get another $100.
Oh.
So let's say you're a family of 5. We're talking what, $500 here?
Yeah.
Just keep printing that cash. That's going to bring down inflation. You put more dollars into. We are out of control. I'm sorry.
I know. Socialism is not the answer. Going to the government and getting handouts is not the answer. The U.S. government doesn't have the money to do this. California certainly doesn't have the money to do this.
It just when you hear stories like this, oh yay, we're getting another stimulus check, or your coworkers or your friends or something. Did you hear that? We're going to get some more money. Okay, that money that you're getting is buying less and less each time they print this stuff. Okay, that's part of the reason why we are suffering the way we are with inflation is all these stimulus rounds. What was it? I know Trump did one. Biden's done a couple. Now we got this.
Obama did some back in the day.
This is why inflation sucks.
Yeah, and whose fault is inflation? Vladimir Putin, of course.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm glad somebody had to say it.
And I'm glad it was me because people just have to know. There might be some people stupid enough to believe it's Joe Biden's fault, but those are the uneducated people among us.
Right.
President Biden's policies have increased inflation according to a majority of voters who expect the issue to be important in November midterm elections. The latest Rasmussen Reports national telephone and online survey finds 64% of likely U.S. voters believe the policy of Biden's administration have increased inflation.
2/3 of Americans. Interesting.
So they're not buying into the Putin stuff. Good. Good. 8% think Biden's policies have reduced inflation.
Oh, no.
How could you? What?
What has he done to make you think that?
And when inflation is at 9.7% or 7.8% or whatever it is right now, and it was 1.5% under Trump. How do you think inflation has gone down from his policies? Wow. Another 25% say the Biden administration's policies have not made much difference at all in inflation, either way. So they surveyed 1,000 U.S. likely voters from March 9th to 10th. Okay. So
interesting.
So maybe it just hasn't sunk into many of them yet that it's Putin's fault, and we'll have to reinforce that.
That'll be the next polling cycle.
Right. Meanwhile, speaking of government intervention and government controlling everything, Alabama has just apologized for asking a man to give up his Let's Go Brandon license plate. It just says LGBFJB, though. Yeah. That's all it says. That could be anything.
Right? Where are you getting the... Come on, Alabama.
Come on.
Of all the states to be upset with this.
Nathan Kirk, the owner of the Blount County Tactical Gun Store, told the Washington Examiner that he received a letter from the Alabama Department of Revenue's Motor Vehicle Division. The letter apologized for any inconveniences, asking him to return his license plate, and said it had determined that the plate would not be recalled after all. Specialized license plate, for which he paid $700 last year, Wow, $700 for a specialty plate?
How long is that plate good for? I mean, 2 decades?
I don't know, but $700 for a license plate? That seems a tad steep to me.
Just send me one of them generic ones.
Jeez. But it was initially recalled, and then the department sent a letter saying it reconsidered the license plate.
So I'm confused, Pat. What did he say the license plate stood for? What is all that LGB?
Let's go, Brandon, and then F Joe Biden.
Okay, but I don't know what that even stands for.
I don't either. Fun Joe Biden?
Yeah.
Joe Biden meaning Joe Biden's really fun?
Yeah, he says it, I think, in there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he says it reads LGBFJB, implicitly representing Let's Go Brandon F Joe Biden, to be offensive to the peace and the dignity of the state of Alabama. Huh. But he actually, does he say, yes, he does. Kirk claims the F in his license plate does not stand for a curse word, but instead means forget.
Yeah, so what's the problem?
Forget Joe Biden.
Forget Joe Biden. I don't know where's Alabama going with this.
I don't know. It's really weird.
I mean, the me thinks you doth protest too much, Alabama.
I keep forgetting I'm president.
Unfortunately, we're reminded every day we pull up to the gas pump.
Or maybe it could mean that Joe Biden forgets a lot.
Oh, he's the one that's forgetting.
I mean, like forgetful Joe Biden.
Forgetful Joe Biden.
Right?
Yeah.
Could be that.
I don't know what Alabama's issue was with that at all.
Also, somebody sent us a video of Dr. Jill Biden on Sesame Street. I don't know when this happened. I don't know that this was recent.
She's helping kids.
She's teaching kids a word of the day. And here it is.
Hi, I'm Jill Biden, and I'm here with my good friend, Gabrielle.
Hi, we're here to tell you the word of the day.
All right.
Today's word is...
Through an international effort to pressure.
Hold on. How do you spell that again? How are kids going to remember this? That's a word right there.
True international pressure.
TRUNALIMUNUMAPRZRE. All right, kids. We'll be quizzing you at the end of today's program. That's good stuff right there.
That's good. That's really good.
I like that. The word seemed smaller when I watched Sesame Street as a kid. Like, I don't remember them being that long. And I thought it was just a letter and a number. And now it's a whole word that
the kids aren't really familiar with. I don't know how many kids understand the meaning of true international pressure.
Mm-hmm. I don't know that there's many people who have actually used that word that know what they mean.
No, that's true.
Or even know that they're president, as a matter of fact.
But it was good to see my sister on Sesame Street.
Uh-huh.
Or is she my aunt? I can't remember. I'm forgetful Joe Biden.
I know.
Can I have some pudding now?
Oh.
Is it time for pudding yet?
You know what?
Pudding.
He needs to actually watch Sesame Street.
Pudding.
Every day.
Where's my pudding? I usually have pudding by now.
Okay. All right, well.
You know, I have a morning routine.
Do you now?
I take a pee. At 6 in the morning.
Really?
And I take a poop at 6:15 in the morning. And then at 6:30, I get out of bed.
Wait, hold on. You don't just hold on. You're not just killing two birds with one stone?
No.
What?
Those are all separate.
You have to go back?
Yeah.
That doesn't seem very economical at all.
There was doo-doo feces thrown all over the walls, the floor, the ceiling, and it stunk so bad.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Good stuff.
He's a good president, right?
Oh, good? He's great.
Thank you, Tony the Tiger.
Also, workplace abuse allegations have surfaced now against ex-Elmo puppeteer.
Oh.
Well, that's apparently why he's the ex-Elmo puppeteer, right? Because he was so abusive.
Oh, is that what happened?
Workplace abuse allegations have hit ex-Elmo puppeteer Kevin Clash, the man behind the beloved Sesame Street character, according to claims that have surfaced in the bombshell report by The Hollywood Reporter. And I guess that's Kevin there?
Sure.
Holding Elmo?
Holding him or shoving his hand up Elmo?
Yeah. 61-year-old had been accused by professionals in the industry of cultivating a hostile work environment and exhibiting abusive behavior towards wranglers who are responsible for the craft of designing and maintaining the puppets.
Okay. What was some of the stuff he said, Pat? Was it bad?
Well, he said, shut the F up.
Oh, no.
Shut the F up.
Did he do it in Elmo's voice?
Mm-hmm. Shut the F up. In the scathing Hollywood Reporter piece, puppet wrangler who worked on the set of Disney Plus series Earth to Ned told the entertainment outlet that he was advised by a senior colleague to avoid clash on his first day of employment and to not address the show's star puppeteer directly.
Oh, not one of those guys.
You gotta be kidding me.
Do you know who I am?
Oh, my gosh.
I do the voice for a puppet, man.
That's something else.
I can't.
Amongst other puppeteers, he's known to be very bubbly and kind, the Wrangler said. But when it came to Wranglers, I was told he tends to be condescending and nasty.
Wait, hold on a second. So there's like a...
This is blowing up my whole world.
Right. So there's like a puppeteer cabal?
I guess so, yeah.
And you're just, if you're not in the club...
You respect the other puppeteers, but not the, not the people who just bring you the puppet.
What is a puppet wrangler?
They bring you the puppets.
They wrangle
them up and bring them to you.
Are puppets running around, or why do you have to go and gather them up? If you're a puppeteer, just hang on to your own puppet.
Among the instances of alleged verbal abuse, Clash shouted at the wrangler on set. He yelled at me because he was leaving a voicemail as Elmo for someone's kid.
Oh no! I want to hear this voicemail.
I think I was standing too close to him. So, Clash allegedly told the Wrangler to shut the F up.
Did the kid hear this voicemail?
If he's actually doing a voicemail for some kid,
right?
He should tell him to shut up, right? There should be some quiet for him to do that.
Okay, but I mean, can he say it in Elmo's voice though?
But you could be a little nicer, I guess.
Yeah, Elmo could.
Excuse me.
Or how about Elmo doesn't break character? He goes, I'm in a loud room or something like that. You just keep rolling with it as a professional. But oh no, it was a wrangler that was talking.
Yep.
If a puppeteer had been in the background, then he could have just.
So this guy was the voice of Elmo from 1984 to 2012. Wow, no wonder he was so arrogant. That is. You're at the top of your career for what? 28 years.
I don't know.
He departed from the show after 4 men filed lawsuits accusing what? Oh, wow.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
Puppet
he departed
touching?
the show after 4 men filed lawsuits accusing the puppeteer of sexual abuse.
Oh no. Did he use the puppet too? To say, hey, come on with me. No.
Clash has denied the claims. But he was accused of having sexual relations with the accusers when they were underage.
Oh, no!
Cases were dropped, however, due to the statute of limitations.
Wait a minute. That applies ever?
I guess.
I've been conditioned to think you could go back 50 years on this stuff.
Yeah, and on something like this, there shouldn't be a statute of limitations, right?
Yeah,
you should be able to...
Yeah.
Yeah, you should be able to get that taken care of anytime.
Boy, dark side of puppetry. Who knew?
Who knew? All right. You know what? Overtime is coming up. So if you haven't signed up yet, do so now.
Have time
at blazetv.com/Pat.
I got to go pee real quick if that's cool with you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Got a little break?
All right.
Thank you.
And then we'll see you tomorrow.
Pat Gray, only on the Blaze Radio Network.